So this is going to be the wrap up for day three of our vacation in New York City. We went down and got our free breakfast. So this is the second morning we've done that. And if you stay at this hotel, they will give you enough
like vouchers
for the whole stay, right?
Yep. They just gave me a stack of them. They counted out how many it was, and
yeah. So we use a voucher every morning, and this morning I got something different. I got yogurt with granola.
Parfait.
It was yogurt, and it was the thickest. It was the consistency of like a cream cheese. That's how thick it was.
I didn't get that.
But it had granola, and it had blueberries, and they gave you a little packet of honey, and I put that in there. It was really good. I still had a croissant, but I'm glad I got something different. I enjoyed that.
Well, and they were out of the bacon and egg sandwiches, so I got the egg, cheese, and grilled onion sandwich.
Which he was going to do that anyway.
I was going to try it anyway, but I'm just saying they were out of bacon
right.
as well. They got them in right as we got ours. Literally brought some down right as they were packing up ours.
So what did you think?
It was okay. I like the bacon one better.
Okay.
But the onions, you really taste the onions, and the onions is not something I want.
Right.
First thing in the morning.
And Ashley didn't want a sandwich, and she wondered would they give her 2 croissants if she didn't get a sandwich.
Yeah.
And they did.
They were fine.
They didn't have any problem.
Can I have 2 croissants instead of a sandwich? And they said sure.
Yeah, they didn't have any problem at all.
And still just as fresh and flaky and good as they were the day before.
Yes.
So
oh yeah.
Was good.
It was very good. And
sandwiches. What I'm really impressed with too is the sandwiches are always the 2 times we've got them. Both times have been really good and hot.
Yeah, and I mean it's going to save you money. That's going to save you now.
From having to go to a
they
restaurant.
actually have a really nice. I mean it's a cool looking restaurant down there.
And you can get a sit down breakfast for.
That's what I'm talking about. Is where you can get the sit down breakfast.
You can get a sit down breakfast at a discount. It's only like $6.50 per person.
Oh, I didn't know it was at a discount.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm assuming it's the discount because it's on the same thing as the voucher.
Right.
So, but it's just I don't know what you get with that.
Well, you have to walk through this really cool restaurant to go downstairs to where you get the grab and go, and it is an awesome looking place. Nice. It's like the 1940s, and the whole place is done in that theme, and so it's really cool. But we did that, and then we decided we wanted to go through the public library. So we walked down to the public library.
We went to Park first.
We went to where?
Bryant Park.
We went to Bryant Park. Yeah, we did. We walked through Bryant Park. It has a beautiful, what I would consider a vintage carousel.
Yeah, because the characters on it were older.
Very old, and if you watch the video, I'm sure I'll have put pictures at the end of that video. At the end of the video, any pictures, that's where I usually try to put them, is at the end.
It was neat, and they have a big open grassy area too, where they do like different things. And they had a big stage.
Right.
There. Nobody was out on the grass. They were just sitting at tables drinking their coffee.
Right. But what we didn't realize is literally there's a huge building right there on the edge.
Yeah, like Bryant Park's here, and
there's a huge
street,
building.
and there's a big building sitting
and
there.
we're like, Kevin was like, oh, well, we're going to go to the library next. Let's look up and see where the library is.
I said, oh, it's that big building.
That big building right there is the library. So literally,
so the back of it was right to Bryant Park.
We walked around the corner, and that is the library.
The one with the 2 lines out front, if you're trying to place what the New York Library looks like.
Yes, and their names are
Patience and
Virtue.
No,
I don't know what they are. It's Patience and something.
If you hadn't asked that, Fortitude.
Fortitude. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Anyway, I didn't even know they had names. I think that's cool that they had names. But
if you go in the visitor center, it's cool. When you walk in, first of all, it's like a museum. I mean, it's beautiful inside.
Yeah, it makes you think you're going into a museum, not a library.
Yeah. And they did make you show your bag if you had a bag. They just looked inside it real quick.
But I do want to point out that the lions are much, much smaller. I mean, like...
I know that I thought they would be.
They're 1/3 of the size of what they have in London. So what surprises me is that nobody was on these. Because in London, that's the
on.
thing, is people climb on top of them and you get your picture taken. That's what you do. If I could have climbed up there, I would have gotten my picture taken, but I can't get myself up there.
They're pretty high.
It's really, really, really high. Yeah, I would end up breaking something. But anyway, I could have gotten on one of these because they're so much smaller, but nobody was on them. And I think that's probably just a no-no here. I mean, they don't even, you don't even see, I didn't even see anybody standing out there to tell people not to do it. No. It's just like people just don't do it.
I didn't see a sign saying do not.
Don't do it. It's just like people don't do it.
Yeah.
They do everything else in this city.
They do.
So I thought for sure people would be all over those. It surprises me that's the one thing we haven't seen people do.
That's true, climbing up on stuff.
Yeah.
But we went inside, it's really neat if you go in and they have the Antarctic thing right now.
Yeah, the Arctic, yeah.
And the Arctic, and it was really cool to see pictures and stuff. But if you go in the visitor center, they have like a model of the airport, the library, and they've cut the building in half, and you can they've got models of all the bookshelves,
and I got that
tables,
on video.
And all kinds
yeah,
of.
I got that on video.
I just thought that was really, really cool. Yeah.
I thought it was really nice when I was filming. There was a man there, and his wife or girlfriend or whatever, she was blind.
Yeah.
And so they had like a person from the library explaining things to them and to her, and she was filling on the model where things were, and like the lions and stuff like that, and he was explaining to her what she was feeling and all that.
It had Braille around it too.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all the little labels and stuff all had Brailles.
Okay, I didn't even realize that.
Can't even imagine. If you are blind, I can't even imagine me personally living like that. It would be so hard.
It would be very, very hard.
I
yeah.
can't imagine.
But I thought it was great. I'm not visually impaired.
But it was interesting hearing him talk.
I would have liked for him to just walk around with me and just talk to me about it. That's how I knew the Lions had a name, because I didn't know that until I heard him tell that girl that. But it's like a museum.
It's nice. It had pictures everywhere.
It had pictures everywhere. It had murals.
Not pictures, actual paintings.
Yeah, murals. Lots of artwork. There were rooms where you had to be real quiet.
Some rooms you couldn't go into at all.
Yeah, some rooms you couldn't go into. They had bathrooms though.
Every floor.
I visited 2 of the bathrooms. Well, at one point I just wanted to blow my nose, just to be honest. But it was so much more than I ever thought it would be, because there was so much to look at, and
the architectural details and the ceilings and all that stuff was just amazing. The detail.
And
it literally looks like a museum you'd see over in London or something.
It really does. It just doesn't have as much.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what it reminds you of. So then, when we left there, we went to Grand Central Station, and that was much, much more than I expected too, because I thought it was really interesting that they have so many places to eat.
Yeah, they have a full dining
and to shop
place over there.
I think that's wonderful. And some people would say in the videos, well, why did you not study up on this? Why don't you know about all these places before you go? And why don't you know exactly what to expect? For me, discovery is half the fun.
That's the fun of exploring.
That's the fun. I don't want to read every little thing and know every little thing, and then nothing be new or fresh, or like some people will watch full videos on places before they go, and it's like, it's fun to discover, oh my gosh, there's an Apple store in the middle of Grand Central Station. That was pretty cool. And the ceiling is this like Tiffany blue ceiling. It's gorgeous, and it's a nice place. So then after we left Grand Central, we went into Whole Foods, and we walked around Whole Foods for a little bit.
Well, it wasn't to cool off and get a drink, honestly.
Yes, yes, but
but we also just looked to see what they knew.
Yeah, we wanted to see what they had. We wanted to see what some of the local brands were and what they carried there. And then we came back here, and we We stayed here for a little bit, didn't we?
Just
cool off.
Just for a little while.
And then we went to, well, we had a show.
Yeah.
We had Chicago. We had bought tickets to see Chicago. And so we had, it was 2 o'clock. And so we went to, this was our first Broadway show that we were seeing. And it was really, really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a good job on it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend children go to it, but you know,
there were
some adult situations.
But there, if you've ever seen,
a movie,
if you've ever seen the movie Chicago, then you would know whether your children were allowed to watch that. So growing,
because this was basically the same thing.
Yes, it was the same thing. So growing up, Ashley was allowed to watch Chicago. She just was. We did not mind her watching Chicago. We let her watch Titanic. And, you know, a lot of parents are funny about it. They want their kids to wait till they're older. Ashley was allowed to watch that stuff. We didn't make a big deal of it. So she knows all the songs by heart and all that. And so, you know, part of Courtney Courtney funded some of our trip, not all of it, but some of it. You'll get to hear about it at the very end, how much money Courtney gave us. She gave us a good chunk. But part of that money she gave us was to, we could spend it on, you know, of course, doing something. And so we got the tickets to see Chicago. Yeah. And I'm so glad we went. But then after we went to Chicago, we went to Junior's and we ate. And it's a huge restaurant.
The one in Times Square is
the one in Times Square. I would recommend you go because it is it's an old, like it's like American Graffiti, Happy Days,
like
that kind of
50, 60 vibe.
Yeah, it's that kind of vibe when you go in
like
there.
Like a diner almost.
And yeah, all the little details are just like the carved booths and the mirrors behind the booths, and the colors and the lights, everything in there is just really happy to your eyes. And it's a huge restaurant, so they can
plenty of stuff on the menu. So
yeah,
pretty much something for everybody.
They can fit a lot of people in there.
Yeah, most of these places are bigger than they look.
Yes,
from
it's
the
like
outside,
the TARDIS.
Yeah, from the outside,
it's
they
bigger
look like
on the inside.
Gonna be some little hole in the wall, and you go inside, and it's like massive. You're like, dang on.
So the food was good. I'm glad my meal came. I got a cheeseburger, and it came with 2 onion rings.
This is a garnish, really.
I'm glad though that I got those like that, and I did not order onion rings.
They were just okay. The onion rings.
I would not get their onion rings again.
Yeah, and the fries were good while they were hot.
They're they're good while they're hot. So when they're fresh, I ate most of my fries before I even started on my cheeseburger because I usually do that with my fries anyway because I always, when we go to Cane's, I always eat my fries first because I want them to be hot.
Burger was good. I got a bacon burger. It was really good.
The onion rings, they did not have, first of all, a strong onion flavor. They were very, very greasy.
Yeah, they had a good crunch to
them,
but they were greasy and didn't have much onion.
Yeah, very greasy.
No onion that I could take.
Yeah, so I would not get the onion rings again. If it tells you anything, I got 2. I only ate one of them.
Yeah,
the other one I didn't even eat.
They weren't really worth it. But the burgers were really
burgers
good.
were good. But while we were sitting there, I said, "Hey," we hadn't made any concrete plans for the night. I said, "Hey,
it was only like 4:30 or 5.
Would you all like to get tickets to see another show?" And they were game. And Kevin and I had passed the ticket, but basically in Times Square, you've got the red stairs. Right underneath the red stairs is the place to buy tickets.
Yeah, like the day of.
Discounted tickets. Yeah, they're discounted.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your seats or anything.
No.
You sit where you sit.
Yeah, that's it. You sit where you sit.
They will sit you together if they can.
Yes,
but you don't get to pick.
So long story short, we got in line, we got the discounted tickets, and we'll tell you how much they were at the end because they were much cheaper.
They were cheaper.
Much cheaper than other shows we got.
And if you went early in the day, you probably have a bigger selection of shows.
You
When
probably
we went
would.
there were still quite a few shows.
There
we
was,
could pick
yeah.
from. I mean, really.
But we went to see Aladdin. And
It was great.
let me tell you part of the reason with that, of seeing Aladdin too. They had shows that were like, you have to, if you want to get the best bang for your buck. And I thought this was smart of Ashley, because I would have never thought of it myself, but Ashley did. I was looking at another show that was only going to be like an hour. Was it an hour? An hour and a half.
Including intermission.
An hour and a half, including intermission. Aladdin was how long?
2.5.
2.5 hours with intermission. So if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck,
Yeah, go long shows.
go to a longer show. You want to get that extra hour of entertainment. You're paying for it, right? But Aladdin was the best decision. The costumes, I can't even imagine how much money they spent on costumes. Yeah. The costumes looked heavy and expensive, and like they would come out all in one color and then they'd go back and they'd come back out. When they were holding those feathers, I mean, the costuming, and then just the stage, just the
effects and stuff.
What do you call that? The
backdrops.
The backdrops and the stuff that would come down, the lighting. I can't imagine how much they spent on that.
They did a good job.
They, if you've ever watched the movie Aladdin, you know, you have the cave. They did an awesome job with the cave. The genie was awesome, hilarious.
He's the one that did it. It's the one on all the pictures around.
He's so funny. There are so many, and he's not the only funny one though. There are so many funny moments. Like they added comedy throughout the whole show.
I'd say they did a lot of that for the kids to have something to laugh at.
I don't know if kids would have gotten all.
That's
you think
true.
The kids would have
not all the
gotten
kids
all of that?
were. Well, they understood the one guy wanted to eat all the time. And,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. The magic carpet ride. They did it because I thought, are they just gonna like sit on the stage and we're just imagining? No.
Yeah.
They went almost to the very top of the ceiling. It was incredible.
Flying and turning and everything.
Yes, it was
cool.
wonderful.
And they did an excellent job of the staging and stuff.
Yes, and when they first meet each other, I loved it. I love the whole thing. And
now, knowing what the production value of that was and how they did the magic and stuff like that, I think I'd be willing to see the Harry Potter play too. They have a Harry Potter show.
we didn't know how they would do Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I'd be willing to watch that because I think it'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
well,
I'd be willing to go to any show that you want to go.
We love shows.
We
anyway.
love
We all
shows.
love shows.
we love shows and we love being entertained, and
We love to sit in air conditioning. And
the
be
reason
entertained.
we don't do it at home very often is just because it's
expensive.
very, very, very expensive, and
And they don't do a lot of them close to us. Like they don't do a lot in Lexington, which is the town over from us. You have to drive to like Louisville or Cincinnati or something like that. It's just that's a trip.
right.
A good trip.
Right.
You know, like an hour and a half or 2 hours to get
Right.
there, and by the time you've done that and the show tickets and like that, it's
It's expensive, so it's been a huge treat for us to get to do this.
And we got another one tomorrow.
So yes, we have one more tomorrow. So we
Maybe we'll have two tomorrow if we're going to do Harry Potter.
I don't know. We won't be able to do two tomorrow because that
No,
one's tomorrow
no,
night. We
it's-
definitely won't be able to do
we
two
won't.
tomorrow. Anyway, Ashley saw these rickshaws. They have these rickshaws everywhere. And at night, they're lit up, the music is thumping, and they are riding you around Times Square. So everything's lit up.
Oh.
It's like a bicycle with a thing on the back.
Keep talking, and I'm going to interrupt you when you say something.
Oh, okay. And so Ashley wanted to ride one of these rickshaws, and I did too. I really wanted to do it. And Kevin was like, no, don't want to do it. And because Ashley wanted to do this last night, didn't she? And I thought, tonight I was just like, you know what? I don't care if Kevin doesn't want to do it, that's fine. Ashley and I will do it alone because Kevin had said, I'll stay here because he'll take you and he'll bring you back where he picked you
Oh, wait,
up.
that's what I was going to correct you on. He said, where do you want to go? It's
Oh.
like a cab. He will drop you off. I said,
Yeah,
you want to go in a loop.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I
So
said,
you could have gotten him to take you anywhere.
Okay, okay.
yeah, because I said, just tell him to take you in a loop around Times Square and bring you back here.
And bring you back. So
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Yeah.
Well, he actually, there was.
And we saw other women, like mother, daughters, friends, whatever. But
Oh,
we
that
saw,
wasn't dangerous or anything.
yeah, we saw
Yeah.
lots of women
There's
in
nothing
it
dangerous
together.
about
So,
it. No,
yeah.
there was nothing dangerous
Don't
about
stress
it.
about it.
Ashley saw there was one guy sitting there with his rickshaw, and Ashley did not want to get in his rickshaw.
Well, he wasn't
because
playing music.
He wasn't playing music.
He looked pissed.
And he kind of looked grumpy. He looked grumpy. And so this other guy, Wally, pulls up, and Ashley was like, Ashley held her hand up, and Ashley went up to him, and she said, how much would it be to do a loop? And he said $70.
60.
Or $60. And Ashley came back over and said, it's gonna be $60. So we were like, that's too much money. And we were like, no, it's too much money. And he said, how about 40? And we were like, yes, for 40 we can do this. And so,
He didn't know that it was going to be me in there too.
no, he didn't. He thought, he didn't know that.
That'd
yeah.
be a heck of a pull to me in there with him.
So Ashley and I got in there. He handed Ashley his phone. He let Ashley pick out the music that she
Literally,
wanted.
whatever I wanted.
Whatever she wanted, she got to play. He was like I told Kevin, if we could get him again tomorrow night, me and Ashley, I would pay him again to go tomorrow night.
Take us another round.
His name is Wally. If you could find him, what did the back of his look like?
They had streamers on it. That's all
His
I
thing
remember.
was red.
It is what?
His thing was red. Can you insert a picture of us in it?
Oh,
And then see what it looks like.
yes.
I took a pic. I don't know how good a picture it was, but I got one from a
Well,
distance.
he took about
too.
50 of us in it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
took
that's
pictures
true.
of us in it. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was so friendly. He had conversation with us while we were on there. If you didn't want to have music and if you just wanted a quiet ride, you could have done a quiet ride. Ashley wanted we wanted it to be thumping while we were going in Times Square, and we were loving it. He was brilliant though. We were going like around in circles. He would get out and stop in the middle of traffic
Literally.
to take our picture. Like, it did not matter. Like, we were right in front of a police car at one point.
Literally.
The New York City police.
I could have reached out and touched their bumper, given them a little knock.
And they didn't care. They didn't even look at us. He was like he was turned towards them. We were looking and at the stop sign, and it didn't matter. He stopped and got out and took our picture and everything. Nobody even cared. It was the best time. I mean, Ashley and I, we laughed.
We laughed. We were all laughing.
We loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I recommend doing the rickshaw. You definitely need to do it. Now, I asked Kevin when we got back, would you do it? And he still said no.
Nah, just not for me.
He just doesn't want to do it.
No.
But I filmed it. I sent people Marcos, sent people messages, and so anyway, we had a really good time. But that's it, right?
Yeah. Came back to the room, had a little snack.
Yeah, we've been eating off of
peanut butter cup.
Peanut butter cup, which I don't know when you'll see a video of it, but that's what we've been eating on. But I hope you enjoyed the video. That's the end of our day 3, and so we will see you with more tomorrow.